My name is Sarah, and I'm a part of the admissions staff here at St. Andrews University. So what we want to do today for you guys is we are putting on our first ever virtual athletic open house for you guys today. Along with myself, we have CJ, Patrick, and Brittany, who are the athletic admissions liaisons that are going to work hand in hand with athletics over the next hour and 15 minutes to help give you guys as much information as we can about St. Andrews University. This is going to lay out everything from what it is to get through the admissions process. We're going to have someone talk to you about financial aid. We're going to have some student athletes come on and talk to you. We're going to have an athletic trainer talk to you, as well as some coaches, so that way you guys can get some of your questions answered. Now, before we dive into this, I want to take just 1 minute and go over some housekeeping stuff. First and foremost, if you look in your top right-hand corner of your screen, you should see two different types of views. There's the gallery view, which allows you to look at everybody, and then there's the speaker view, which has the person who's on the mic as the center screen. If you can't see me nice and big, make sure you press that button. We want to make sure that you're able to see the coaches and the students as they're talking to you, so it's really important that you press it so that you're in the speaker view. Secondly, we ask that you guys have that your screen on mute. What we're going to do is we're going to be talking to you guys, and if you guys have any questions, in the bottom there's a chat room. Go ahead and throw out any questions you have in that chat room along the way. We have admissions counselors, student athlete, coaches, everybody on board that's here to help you answer those questions. So to see if everyone can find the chat room, once you find it, go ahead and put your name and where you're from in that chat room. Nice. Welcome, Georgia, North Carolina, Ontario. That's where I'm from. I love it. Bahamas, another Ontario. I love it. Yes, guys. Keep them coming all over the place. We love it. Perfect. Well, while you guys keep those shooting down there, I'm going to pass it over to CJ. She's going to start talking to you guys about admissions and break down what St. Andrews is all about.
Hey, everybody. My name's CJ. They call me Christy Johnson or CJ. I'm, as Sarah mentioned, one of the athletic liaisons in the admissions department. So what I'm going to do today, I'm actually going to take some time and talk to you all about some of the fun facts of St. Andrews outside of athletics. So I'm going to touch base a little bit on student life and academics, and then on fun things like that. So to get started, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen with you. And shout out to Keith, one of our admissions counselors, who put together this amazing Prezi for us. So that way you've got an opportunity to get a visual as I kind of take you through some of this information. So what I'm going to touch base on here for just a few minutes, I'm going to go through the history of St. Andrews, kind of how we became St. Andrews University. And then I'm going to dive into a little bit of some of our initiatives as well as academics. So to get started, I'm going to take you through our Cliff Notes version of our history. So I promise I won't drag this out too long. So what we like to do when we talk about our history, we actually use our Tri-Shields logo. It's a great representation of how we became who we are. Because actually, the university itself dates back to as far back as 1896. And so kind of how we got to where we are now is back in 1896, the Presbyterian Church founded Flora McDonald College. Okay. They also founded in the 1930s Presbyterian Junior College. Okay. So I'm going to name the top left shield on our logo. I'm going to name that Flora McDonald. And then I'm going to name the top right shield on our logo Presbyterian Junior College. In the 1950s, the Presbyterian Church got together and said, you know what? We've got two really good institutions. We've got Flora McDonald, we got the Presbyterian Junior College. Let's bring those together to create one great institution. So what the Presbyterian Church did in the late 50s was they merged the two institutions and created St. Andrews Presbyterian College. In 1961, St. Andrews Presbyterian College held its first class here in Laurinburg, North Carolina. Okay, so now we're going to jump about 50 years. We did the same model again back in 2011. We have St. Andrews Presbyterian College. And now we're going to throw Weber International into the mix. So now we're going to take the Tri-Shield logo, and we're going to name the top left shield St. Andrews Presbyterian. And then the top right shield, we're going to call it Weber International University. These two institutions back in 2011 got together. We made it through the recession, and we said, okay, how can these two great institutions merge to become one? So back in 2011, the two universities merged, and that's how we became St. Andrews University, a branch of Weber International. Okay, a cool fun fact for you guys is the president of Weber International University is actually an alum of St. Andrews Presbyterian College. Okay, so we've had those relationships, great relationships. Now that I've gotten through some of the history part, kind of where we came from, I'm going to dive in for just a few minutes on who we are. Okay, St. Andrews University has three big initiatives that we like to take our students through. We like to talk about character, who you are as a person. We help you explore your calling in hopes of finding a profession that you're passionate about. And then we're also really, really big on community, and community kind of has two folds to it. There's the Laurinburg community that we're in here in North Carolina, but there's also the on-campus community we'll talk about. But to kind of explore how we touch on character, one of the unique things that St. Andrews does from an educational standpoint is most of our degrees have a liberal arts platform. Okay, so what that means, your first 2 years, you're going to go a mile wide and an inch deep academically. You're going to take a little bit of everything, a little math, history, English, science. If you like business, take business. If you are interested in the health sciences, you'll take maybe a health sciences 101 class. There's a little bit of flexibility those first 2 years, but what we're trying to do is kind of dip your toe in the pool of several areas of academics to help you explore and find out what you're truly passionate about. During those first 2 years, we really do a great job of, kind of making you a jack of all trades, a little bit about a lot of things as a foundation for your last 2 years of education here. But we really touch hard on critical thinking skills and communication skills. We are big believers in diversity, which Sarah will jump back in here in a few minutes and talk more about. But we've got, both a diverse student body, but also a very diverse faculty and staff. So we've got faculty and staff from all over the nation, and they've gotten their PhDs from across the nation for sure. And while we take you on that exploration process, we hope that you find out what you want to be when you grow up and declare a major. So your first 2 years, that liberal arts platform, a mile wide and an inch deep. And then your second 2 years here, you're really going to dive into the depths of knowledge of the area and content that you desire. So wherever you decide to major in, you're going to really dive in deep those second 2 years. And throughout this opportunity in the classroom, we hope you find your calling. What better way to find your calling than exploring your options, okay? So when you get to St. Andrews, you will not have to have a major declared right away. We're going to give you time to get it figured out. So coming in undecided, coming in not knowing quite what you want to do when you grow up, if you will, that's a perfectly great answer, because we're going to help you explore that. The way we really dive into this and help you throughout this process is small class sizes. Our average class size here at St. Andrews is 15 people. Now, not every class is just 15 people. Our largest class last semester was only about 42. So if you're looking for an environment where, people get to know you, you get to know them, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for you to be impactful, not only be impacted by us, but be impactful on our campus. So small class sizes is a great way to do that. You're going to be taught by PhD or terminal degree professors. Over 73% of our professors have reached that mark in their academic careers. We're a teaching university, so understand that our professors have a commitment to you as students to be your professor. Okay, that's their number one job at St. Andrews. Yes, they do research. Yes, they work on publications, but they understand that their top priority here at St. Andrews as a professor at SAU is to be your professor. Okay, so what that allows for is, not only for you to know who your professor is, but more importantly, they're going to know who you are. Okay. Student athletes walk around campus all the time. They're rocking their t-shirts. You know who the baseball players, you know who the wrestlers are, you know who the football guys are, because they're rocking their gear, okay? Totally normal, totally get it, I love it. But what our professors do is they take it beyond that. You know, you're not just a softball player at St. Andrews. They're gonna know your name, they're gonna know your face, they're gonna know who you are, what you wanna be when you grow up once you decide. They really have bought into the concept of getting to know our students beyond just the face value, okay? And to kind of keep moving on this academic pathway, understand that we offer 21 different minors. Our classes are very challenging, but if you're willing to put in the time, energy, and effort into your academics, we've got the academic support to meet you halfway every single time. Because we're not a lollipop institution, you don't come here to major in underwater basket weaving and play a sport. You are going to be challenged in the classroom to earn a 4-year degree here, but I can promise you, if you're willing to put in the effort into the academics, there is a whole resource of people who are dedicated to helping you. This includes professors. They have open office hours, so you know, during their open office hours, you go knock on Dr. Niesel's door, and as long as he's not in a meeting, you know, he's going to ask you to sit down and see how he can help. We've got the Center for Academic Success, which includes free tutoring. We have a writing center here on campus, as well as engaged instructors. So understand that if you're willing to accept the challenges that we put forth in front of you, we also are going to give you the support to achieve the things that you want to achieve in the classroom. Now I want to jump into a little bit about what we offer as a major. Okay, so I'm going to preface this with a couple quick notes as we read through this. St. Andrews University is in the process of establishing a pre-licensure BSN program pending North Carolina Board of Nursing approval, as well as in the process of applying for candidacy with accreditation with the Accreditation Council of Occupational Therapy Education. Okay, so here's what's cool about St. Andrews. Our most popular degree here is our business administration degree. We've got a ton of different specializations in that area. Our second most popular degree right now is biology. But take a look at the page. You can see that we've got a number of options for you here at St. Andrews. So we're a small university. We provide small class sizes, professors who care, and we kind of run the gamut on what we're able to offer you academically. So I just want to take a second, let you look this over, see if there's some things on this page that you're interested in. But I also want to point out a few of our newest opportunities. So out of that business administration program, we've just recently added the specialization in criminal justice management. So if you're looking to go to law school, if you want to work in juvenile justice, corrections, law enforcement, that might be a great opportunity for you to explore. We've done a number of different things here on this slide. Of course, we talked about OTA and the BSM program, but for those of you who are passionate about sports and want to find a career in sports, we also have a couple of really great options for you there. We've got the sport management degree that we actually just added the specialization in esports. And then we've got Dr. Walker's program, sports performance, health, and fitness. Those are two really great opportunities for students who are very passionate about sports and want to stay in the world of athletics through academia. And last, I want to touch base on our education department, which is a fantastic department here. For those of you who are looking to be teachers and coaches, there's some really great opportunities within that department. We just added here recently the bachelor's in secondary education with 9 through 12 grades licensure. So again, great opportunity if you want to teach high school and coach high school. That's a great marriage right there. But do understand that our education department can pretty much get you licensed anything K through 12 that you see on the page here. All right, so we're going to transition out of character and calling and talk a little bit about community. And again, I mentioned this was twofold. So to start with, I want to touch base on the community of Laurinburg, North Carolina. We're a small southern town, about 15,000 people. Everything you need is right here in town, which is what I love about St. Andrews and our great location. Walmart, Big Lots, grocery stores, gas stations, every fast food restaurant you can name with a national franchise on it can be found here in Laurinburg. You know, our students, just off the top of my head, our students love Cookout and they love Chick-fil-A. That's pretty good, big, frequent stop for them here in Laurinburg. But again, everything you need is within a 5-minute driving distance of campus. If you look closely on the map that's on this slide, that big red star, we know we are not that big of a city, but that's where we are located. But I just want to point out a couple of locations. To our west is Charlotte, to our north is the Raleigh-Durham area, to our east is Wilmington, then we, of course, right down south from Wilmington is Myrtle Beach, and then, of course, Columbia, South Carolina is just about dead center on the upstate of South Carolina. So if you think about the places I just named, what you'll realize is we're in the middle of all that. Laurinburg is literally in the middle of everywhere, and we have everything you need right here in town. So it's a great opportunity for our students to stay focused in class and stay focused on campus, but then we're very accessible to all those big city lights. And the other fold of community, I want to talk about student life just briefly. We are going to have some students, as Sarah mentioned, who are going to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about, day in the life of, and give you their perspective. But just want you to understand a few points about our student life here on campus. We're very, very diverse, as I've mentioned. About 85% of our students actually live here on campus. We proudly support 25 varsity sports, and we encourage our student athletes to participate in clubs and organizations should that be something they want to take advantage of. You're going to hear a great story here in a few minutes of one of our student athletes, a couple of them really, who do some big things, not only in the classroom, not only on the court, but also in our community here on campus. So now that I've given you just a brief general overview of our fun facts, I'm actually going to turn it over to one of our awesome admissions counselors. Many times she's my right-hand man, and I don't think she knows how much I appreciate her. But I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Brittany Rich.
Thank you so much, CJ. Yes, my name is Brittany Rich. I am an admissions counselor for St. Andrews University. I am one of the other athletic liaisons. I work with football. Many of you have already seen that have joined the chat. You may have talked with me already. For you who haven't known me, I'm pretty new to St. Andrews, but I love this community, and we are pretty much a big family here. So if you're looking for that type of environment, St. Andrews could be a great place for you. Kind of want to hit on our admissions process for some of our domestic kids. That means in the United States. And then once I finish up, I'll pass it over to Sarah that will go over more of our international aspect for our admissions policies. Just want to start off with our seniors. With this coronavirus, there's a lot that's going on right now. It's throwing a wrench in your plans as far as prom, graduation, and also trying to finish up your admissions process through all the other colleges and universities that you're interested in. Just want to let you know that St. Andrews has realized that. We're trying to make this process as easy as possible for you. St. Andrews, for our seniors right now, we are only going to request a high school transcript. That means that we can accept unofficial or official transcripts right now. But if you do submit an unofficial transcript, please know that we will need to have those official transcripts at some time right around graduation or as soon as possible. So please be in contact with your guidance counselor at your high school and make sure they're getting in contact with St. Andrews or your admissions counselors to get those official documents in. Seniors, once we get those transcripts in, your admissions counselor will start the review process. At that point, we can move forward in getting your application reviewed, processed, and getting you through the enrollment process. But there might be a time where we have to, as a counselor, we will review your transcript. We may ask for a couple other documents, such as an essay, or we need to actually sit down and have an in-depth phone conversation just to get to know you a little bit better. And so really all it is for us is we're here to help you and making sure this process is as easy as possible. We want to be sure that we're giving you all the right, correct information. For all of our seniors that are here, this next year is going to be, going by pretty fast. So you want to be sure you have all the information now so that way you're ready to rock and roll next year. For our juniors, it's going to be a little bit different for you. We will need official high school transcripts and official test scores. So SAT and ACT scores. Once you get those, please have all the official documents sent in to your admissions counselor. High school transcripts can either be sent from your guidance counselor. They can be sent to our admissions office directly or to your counselor directly. SAT and ACT scores can be sent the same way, need to come from your guidance counselor, or they need to come from the testing administration website. So log into your account, put in our SAT, ACT codes, and they'll get sent to us in a timely manner, and we'll be able to let you know as soon as those documents get in. After we receive both of those documents, transcripts and scores, what we'll do is we'll also review your application at that time. We may ask for other documents such as an essay or an in-depth phone conversation. It's only, like I said, to get to know you a little bit better. We want to build that relationship. We may have some transfers here right now interested in the transfer application process. So your process is going to be a little bit different. We'll also need official high school transcripts. We'll need official SAT or ACT scores, official transcripts from any and all colleges or universities that you have attended. And then we'll also need to get a dean questionnaire filled out and sent to us. You'll receive that dean questionnaire as soon as we make contact, as soon as we have had built a relationship. We'll send that over to you so that way you can get that filled out, and then you can get that sent back into us. Once again, we'll also be wanting to build that relationship. So we're going to be calling you all the time. You know, we want to be sure that you know our name. We want to be sure that you know what you still need, what we have in. So that way we're all on the same page, and we can get you through this process as quick as possible. So that way we can get you to the next steps, which is the fun steps of getting you awarded, working with your coaches, and then also getting ready to actually attend St. Andrews and step foot on campus and become a student. One of the big things that I really recommend is, set up your voicemail, making sure that you're staying in contact with your counselors. And so that way you can say, hey, I just sent in my scores, be on the lookout for that. And then so that way gives us an idea, like, okay, we should receive that within the next 2 business days, or I've sent in my FAFSA, or hey, my transcript sent through Parchment. All it is we're wanting to build that relationship with you. We're wanting you to know us. We're wanting to know you. So during this process, feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor and ask questions as frequently as possible. We're here to do the legwork for you. That's our job. We want to do this because we want you to be successful here at St. Andrews, and we want to make it as easy as possible. That's pretty much everything as far as the admissions process. But if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask questions in the chat box. I'll be sticking around the whole time. I'll be happy to answer those questions. I'm about to pass it over to Sarah, who's going to be talking about more of the international process for admissions.
Hey, everybody. I just quickly wanted to touch base on what it's like to be an international student on our campus. As an international student, you are going to be amongst a very diverse population. In the chat room, I just want everybody to take a guess on how many countries you think are represented at St. Andrews University. Just throw out any number you think. 90, 92, 32, 100. Nice. I like it. So at St. Andrews University, we have over 28 different countries and 35 different states represented. Among this, we have over 20% of our student population as international students. So not only are your faculty going to know how to work with you as an athlete, but if you're an international student, you never have to worry about faculty not knowing how to work with you. We have not only faculty in the class who know how to work with you, but we also have tons of tutoring resources if maybe you don't feel as confident in your English or you need help writing those papers, as CJ suggested. As an international student, you're also going to go through a little bit of a different admissions process. I work with each of you guys independently to make sure that we're getting all of those steps done so I can help you get your I-20. So as a student, once you fill out that application, there's 2 things that we need from you if you're coming in as a first-time freshman. Those are going to be your transcripts or your grade books in both English and, if you're from a non-English speaking country, in your native language. I actually can calculate your GPA, so you don't have to worry about doing anything else. Just send them straight to me. As well, if you are from a non-English speaking country, we will need a copy of your TOEFL or your IELTS. If you are from an English-speaking country, with everything that's happening this year, if you have an SAT or an ACT, you can go ahead and send them over. But if you don't, that's okay. As far as the GPA or test requirements go for international students, the big test requirements that we look for is that TOEFL being a 61 or higher, and then that IELTS being a 5.5 or higher. If you scored below a 61 on the TOEFL, you can always retake it, and we do take the My Best score, which is the combination of all of your best throughout the times that you took it. Or we do have an English as a second language program that you can take for 1 semester and then transition into our college classes after that. So those are kind of the 2 main things that we require once you get that application in. Once we get all that information and you've been accepted, then I start the process of helping you create your I-20. And so what we need for that is a copy of your passport, a statement of financial responsibility, which I send to you, a bank statement so that we can make sure everything's good with CVIS, and then your $1,000 US deposit. All this does is it helps us make sure that we can get your I-20, and then we send that out to you. If you don't know what your I-20 is, it's a legal document that you take with you not only to get your F1 visa, but you'll carry in and out of the country with you. If you guys have any questions about international admissions, since it is so different, I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat room. I know I've seen tons of you guys on here who I've had conversations with, but I'll throw it down there. And if you guys have any questions, don't ever hesitate to shoot me an email. I'm going to now take a minute and we're going to flip gears, focus a little bit on financial aid. Ashley Dittmar is going to be talking for about 5 minutes about financial aid, what the dreaded FAFSA is and how easy it is to actually complete, as well as what to do once you get that award packaging.
Okay. Hi, guys. So, yeah, Sarah introduced me. I'm Ashley. I'm the financial aid officer here at St. Andrews. So I'm not necessarily the fun talk, but I am the necessary talk that we kind of have to have. So the first step is filing your FAFSA, which you can do at studentaid.gov. When you're filing your FAFSA, it's going to ask for a school code. Our school code is 001540, and it's going to pop up as Weber International with a campus in Florida. When we merged with them, like CJ told you guys about a little bit ago, they gave us one school code, so we just share the code and we just process it that way. So once we receive your FAFSA, you have been admitted into St. Andrews, and we have whatever scholarship offer coach is giving you, we can award you. And so kind of how those steps happens is we'll give you a call and we'll talk about your award letter, we'll talk about the next steps, and we'll mail it out to you. So the next steps would include completing loan counseling and a loan agreement, and you can do that at studentaid.gov as well. And then we will, you'll need to return your award letter and an investment worksheet that comes in that packet, and you can do that by mailing it in or emailing it to us, whichever option is easier for you guys. Another point is if you guys not have started applying for any outside scholarships, it's a great way to help you because not always, federal money doesn't always cover costs. We don't offer full rides here at St. Andrews. So applying for any outside scholarships can be really helpful. And of course, on our website, underneath the financial aid tab is a scholarship links tab, and there's the St. Andrews scholarships and outside scholarships that can help you guys. And now I know there were some juniors signed up, so this process won't really start for you guys until October 1st of this year. So starting October 1st opens up the 21-22 school year FAFSA. So that is when you guys can start applying. So yeah. Sarah?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. I told you she'd make that as short and sweet as she could for you guys. Now, I know that you guys are all on here because of one thing. You want that athletic piece to your college experience. So we're going to flip gears and we're going to go ahead and start to give you guys that. What would really help us is if you guys could take 1 minute and fill out one of these polls, letting us know what sports you're interested in. What we can do with this information is if you haven't had a chance yet to get in contact with a coach, we can take that and let that coach know that you're interested in that sport. As well, if you have had contact with a coach, this is a great chance for you to be able to show your coach how interested you are in St. Andrews and really push them to get everything filled out and completed with you. So as you do that, I'm going to take a second to introduce our head athletic trainer, Natalie. Hi. She's going to go through all of what it is to be a trainer, what our weight room looks like, what our training room looks like. And she's actually in her 3rd year of working here at St. Andrews. Before she was at St. Andrews, she was just down the road getting her athletic training degree from Wingate University. So take it away, Natalie.
Hi guys, this is Natalie. As Sarah said, I'm the head athletic trainer here at St. Andrews. I currently work with the men and women's soccer team as well as softball and our up and new coming sport of esports. So I'm going to do it a little bit different. It's really hard to kind of explain an athletic training room, so I'm just going to show you guys. Okay, so as you can see, we have various amounts of tables. We have a lot of space. We have a lot of equipment, everything that you would need. So starting over here, we have our cold whirlpools, which are phenomenal, especially when it comes to those hot preseasons, especially for footballs, our soccer guys, and women that are all outside. We really like to utilize these types of therapeutic modalities, as well as our game readies, our stim units, our ultrasounds, anything and everything you can kind of think of when it comes to rehabilitation. If we don't have it, we have ways to make it work. And if we don't have it, I promise you, we are somehow or another trying to get it. As you can see over here, this is our kind of like our rehab corner. If you were to have had a surgery before you came to St. Andrews, if you were to sustain an injury while here, or if for some reason you need surgery while here, we can do all of our rehabilitation in-house. We have a really good communication with our doctors at Ortho Carolina. They actually come on campus and will look at our athletes, help with our diagnosing process, and give them the best care that they can when it comes to diagnosing their injuries, as well as speaking with us on how to go about the treatment and just how to return them to the field. So when it comes to our student athletes, our #1 goal is your health, safety, and well-being. There are currently 5 athletic trainers on staff. So every sport has their own athletic trainer, with the exception of football. Having that many guys, having that big of a contact sport, we actually have 2 certifieds that will work with them. So whenever it comes to anything as little as a blister to as anything severe as you think you may have actually pulled or torn a muscle, we're here. We are with you every step of the way, whether it be the evaluation process, talking with your parents, talking with your coaches, limiting you at practice if we have to. We never want to pull anyone out of practice. That is not what our job is. Our job is actually to get you on the field and to make you be the best student athlete that you can be. With that being said, as much as we all love the athletic training room, I know it's not something that most student athletes ever want to come in and be a part of. But I promise you, when your parents have told you in the past, with age, things start to deteriorate. The same thing happens with college athletes. So even if it's just coming in and stretching out, we try and fulfill every one of your needs. Currently, we also act as like a general medicine kind of coordinator. So if you're sick, you think you have a fever, your allergies are bothering you, we also offer types of interventions to help you with those small things. And if it's something that we can't provide for you, we will find you the best doctor or the best person to send you to. So this is pretty much our athletic training room. I'm now going to take you on a tour of our weight room. So the weight room technically stays locked. There are certain hours throughout the day in which it is available to any and all students, faculty, staff, anyone of that sort. However, it's also closed for certain periods so that athletic teams can reserve time to come and work out. Typically, I think last year it was open to any students from 11 to 3. Anytime other than that, whether it be in the morning or later at night, our teams typically reserved it. So we have various amounts of like cardio equipment. You can see we have a stair climber, we have some treadmills, we actually have some brand new bicycles, things of that sort. These are some of our older machines. They're the assisted machines if you don't feel as comfortable when it comes to free weights. But then as you continue to go farther and more in depth into the training room, you come across your dumbbell sets, as well as our new free racks. The weight room was actually, I guess you could say, redesigned and kind of upgraded last year. We came in, we painted the walls, we painted the bottom aspects. The football team and a bunch of other teams actually worked really hard together and collaborated to get us some of these great new weight equipment. There's also talk of potentially adding in some additional cardio equipment, as well as other things like areas to work on your speed and agility training, more areas for deadlifting and other types of exercise activity as we continue to build our programs, especially in the exercise science and things of that sort. When it comes to athletic training in the weight room, we really work really close together with each other. It works out great since we're right across the hall, because we really love to utilize this space, love to utilize this atmosphere, and it's just a great part of the St. Andrews community. So with that being said, I'm going to send it back to Sarah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie, for taking some time out of your day to show us the weight room. And I'm going to flip it right back over to Patrick. He is one of our athletic liaisons, and he's going to take some time and talk to not only student athletes, but as well as some coaches, so that way you guys can get some of those questions I know you have answered.
Hey guys, how are you? My name is Patrick Stephenson. I work in close contact with the football team, men and women's track and field, and then men's volleyball, as well as esports. Nate Blackwell, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Nate Blackwell, you out there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There we go. All right.
Hey.
Guys, this is Nate Blackwell. Nate Blackwell is a men's volleyball senior from California, who insisted in taking his new athletic program to back-to-back national runs. Nate also doubles as your SGA president.
Hello, everybody.
So in the chat, give me a round of applause. Miss Harmony Davidson, are you out there?
Hello.
There we go. Miss Harmony Davidson is a transfer women's basketball junior from Virginia. In the 2019-2020 season, she led the program in free throws with a 93%. Okay, drop her a round of applause in the chat as well. Andrew New.
What's up?
There you go. New. Andrew New is one of the first men's football programs accepted in school history. Born and raised in North Carolina, Andrew New will be returning as a senior outside linebacker for the Knights. How are you guys today?
I'm doing great, doing great.
All right, there we go. All right, so this first question is for Nate Blackwell. Nate, can you tell the aspiring Knights what the average day of a student athlete looks like?
Yeah, I mean, it's two different routes. So if you're a fall athlete versus a spring athlete, you're going to have a lot different schedule. Me being men's volleyball, we're a spring sport. So my off season is actually in the fall when we come in. So it's actually pretty chill. We don't actually start working out until September, really. But an average day, really, for when you're in season at least, is probably wake up pretty early. If you have football or some other sports do breakfast check as well. But other than that, you have your classes in the morning. Then for us, around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we had weight room times. And then we have practice at night. And then after that, you slip in lunch and dinner in between there, find some time to get your homework. And freshman year, honestly, you have a ton of free time. Like you will have too much free time. You'll have enough time to play video games, watch YouTube, watch Netflix. Like I remember freshman year, we had so much free time. I know it sounds like a lot, but when you're in season, like you're surrounded by all your friends, you're surrounded by all your teammates. And the environment in the halls as well is it's pretty chill. So you get to hang out pretty much all day long. It's like a hotel everywhere you are, but keep it clean though.
Thank you, sir. This next question is for Miss Harmony. Miss Harmony, you still there with me?
Yes.
All right. Do you have to pay for anything when you travel for your games?
No, we don't pay anything at all. They cover our travel. If we have to stay overnight, they'll pay for the hotel and also the food. If we go out to eat somewhere, the coaches will pay for it, and we don't have to bring any money or anything.
Awesome. Mr. New.
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. Mr. New, is it hard to manage your academics and your athletics?
Well, going back to what Nate said, kind of like your first year, first semester here, you do have a lot of free time, but they need to take advantage of this time period to kind of get adjusted to the college feel and get their scheduling down. like kind of like Nate said, playing video games and doing all this, and then getting to know, you get to know new people and everything like that. That's great for your first year. But after that first year, everything, they're like, they take the training wheels off and like, okay, you've been here for a year, so it's time to get up and rolling now. So I would suggest that me being a first year generation student, it was a total lifestyle change kind of for me. But after that first year and everything, and I saw the difficulty increase, and I got my schedule and time management down, it kind of led the path to where I'm going on today. So that's what really helped me out.
Thanks, sir. Okay, back to you, Mr. Blackwell.
Sure.
Do the professors work well with you?
Personally, yes. I believe they work well with everybody. I think their main goal is to see you guys succeed. They really want to have you guys pass the course. There is no professor on campus that resents students, that wants you guys to fail a course and not show up and have a terrible experience. However, if you're not going to put in the effort into the course, teachers, they don't really want to work with you. It's you are coming to college. You're an adult now. You get to pick all the courses that you're in. You also get to pick the major that you're in. You have a lot more responsibility. So if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to also communicate well with them, if you have to, if you have a sports thing coming up, email them a week before, let them know, hey, we're leaving Wednesday, so you can get that work either done early or turn it in late with their exception. But you do have to work well with the professors as well, but they are definitely very lenient, and they're willing to work with us as we're all sport athletes and have difficult schedules at times.
Okay. Miss Harmony.
Yes.
Can you tell me a bit about dorm life here at St. Andrews?
Dorm life is basically what you make of it. Like, if you get close with your suite mates and everything, then you're gonna have a good time, and you just make sure you don't leave trash everywhere, then you'll enjoy dorm life.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. New.
Yes, sir.
Is there a lot of athletic pride at St. Andrews?
Oh, absolutely. Even though we are a smaller university, every time that we have an event on campus, doesn't matter if it's sports related or not, all the student body, even most of the staff, come out and support wearing all their SAU gear.
Okay. All right. And this question is for everybody because I want everyone's perspective on this. So we're going to start with Nate. What is your favorite thing about St. Andrews?
My favorite thing is probably just the amount of opportunities you have. All the people there are willing to give you any opportunity you want if you're willing to go take it. I was able to really do anything I wanted in my 4 years. I did acting and theater. I did RA. I played men's volleyball. We did I helped out with the Martin Luther King Day parade ceremony. Everything we had. I got to be a part of a lot of different Halloween things with my team. You really get to participate a lot. So it's if you take advantage of the opportunities there, you can really have a great time in your 4 years, and it goes by really quick.
Okay. Ms. Harmony, the same question. What is your favorite thing about St. Andrews?
My favorite thing is probably the diversity. Last year at St. Andrews, I got to meet people from different countries and heard new languages and got to meet a bunch of people and their culture and everything.
Okay. All right, Mr. New, you're last. Same question. What is your favorite thing about St. Andrews?
My favorite thing about St. Andrews would be the faculty and staff, because they're great to be around. And, I love to talk. My bad. I love to talk to you about any little thing that you need help in or advice with. Also, if they can't help you, I'm pretty sure they can point you in the right direction that find somebody to answer your question. Some advice I would have for future recruits or people being here would be to communicate regularly between faculty and staff, because it builds a stronger relationship with that person. And then if say something were to come up, you'd be more comfortable and confident to go talk to that person about it, and they can help you out to resolve it.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask you to go back on mute as we do the coach roll call. Coach Burris, are you there?
I am. I'm here.
All right. Coach Burris is entering her 14th season as the head coach of the St. Andrews women's softball program. Burris is also serves as the athletic director and NAIA compliance coordinator. Before coaching at St. Andrews University, Coach Burris was also coaching for the Australian softball team. and she led them to an undefeated record of 25-0. Secondly, we have Coach Hernandez. Are you there?
Here.
All right. Coach Hernandez is also in his 14th season as head coach of the St. Andrews University men's soccer program. Coach Hernandez has led the men's soccer program to the best season in school history. In 2014, the Knights led 17-2-1 record. And also, he took them to the Sweet 16 of the NAIA National Tournament. And last but not least, we have Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson, are you there?
I am here. Hello.
There she goes. Coach Johnson is in her 4th year as the head women's lacrosse coach for the Lady Knights. Coach Johnson has had the opportunity to coach at Eastern Carolina University, the University of North Carolina, Asheville, and now she's here with us at St. Andrews University. Before the COVID-19 cancellation, Coach Johnson led her Lady Knights to an 18-9 win over Columbia College and a 19-5 win over Salem College. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
Okay, all right. So we'll go in a similar fashion to the last question we asked the student athletes, and we'll go down the line, starting with Coach Burson, Coach Hernandez, and then Coach Johnson, okay?
Save the best for last.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, coaches, starting off with Coach Burris, what are your expectations as a coach for your players?
My expectations for my kids is that they have to be good teammates. I'm a very big believer in having student athletes that understand the team process, what the team's about. And so I expect my kids to be good teammates with one another. I expect them to do well in the classroom. That doesn't mean they have to be a 4.0 student. They can be a 2.0 student, but they will be the best 2.0 student. And I really am very big on them. They've got to be respectful and take care of things themselves. So if they're struggling with a professor, they need to go talk to their professor. I'm not going to step in and handle that for them. So we're really big into the team concept and then them becoming autonomous.
Okay. Coach Hernandez, same question. What are your expectations as a coach for your players?
Everything that Coach Burris just mentioned. And, you know, we also look, what we'd like to have is someone who's a confident, humble, driven, and especially coachable student athlete. One that believes in family, wants to be part of a family, and not just the soccer family, but the St. Andrews family, just the St. Andrews community. So at the end of the day, there's so many attributes that we look for, but those are the big ones for me are those.
Okay, Coach Johnson, best for last. What are your expectations as a coach for your players?
I mean, a lot of what they said. I mean, there's 3 things that we really focus on. One is academics, same concept. I know everyone's not a 4.0 student, but as long as they're trying and giving effort, you know, and secondly, we talk about just being good people, being involved on campus rather than just a women's lacrosse player. We want them to join clubs, start a club, be involved. So we really push that with our girls. And then, you know, thirdly, just wanting to become better players. We want to recruit kids that already have the talents but want to continue to be better and have that drive within them. And so that's why we really spend a lot of time with our girls off the field, getting to know them, their families, because we do hold them, you know, to a standard once they get here.
Okay. Coach Burris, we're back to you. Let me ask you, what is your coaching philosophy?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I mean, I guess my philosophy is, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm just direct and to the point. I'm very honest with my girls. I think we have a very positive relationship. They get to say their opinions. They get to tell me how they feel. I'm a very big believer in nonverbal communication. So I rather have a kid come and talk to me and us kind of duke it out as opposed to them rolling their eyes at me. So, I mean, I think my philosophy is just I have a very open and honest relationship with them. And they get to contribute how they want to contribute in terms of what we're doing with the team. We take what they say into consideration. But for me, it's a very open and honest relationship.
Okay. All right. Coach Johnson, same thing. Coach Hernandez, same thing. What is your coaching philosophy?
Well, again, we go back to the family atmosphere. We want to develop those in a team setting, obviously from the soccer standpoint, to be better players, to be better students, to be better people in general. We do a ton of volunteer work and community service with many nonprofits in the area, from local schools, churches, and other organizations in town. We want to produce, obviously, great athletes and great students, but great people. And I think the value of being selfless, being selfless and teaching the selflessness, to have those St. Andrews graduates go out after they're finished here is extremely important to me and important to St. Andrews. So it is a lot about, obviously, having great teams and great players, but great people bring it home. So what the focus is there for us.
Okay. Coach Johnson, sorry about that. What is your coaching philosophy?
I mean, I think it's evolved over the years. I think if it's, you don't have one philosophy and you stick with it, I've learned a lot. I've been coaching for over 15 years now, and it has changed a lot. But the biggest thing that, I think that we try to do now is, like, we really want our kids to come hard, work hard, compete, but also, like, let's have fun and let's enjoy it, because I think that's a lot of what this generation really appreciates, is going out there and enjoying what they're doing. So we really try to get our kids involved, whether it's them, hey, what drill do you want to run today that you feel like is going to help us, but we can enjoy it. So, like, just trying to get them more involved and, having that open relationship with them where they can communicate and have feedback as well. I mean, it's not all about me. I don't know everything. So just having that type of environment where they can speak up and have opinions, but, we're all in this together, but just being competitive, but also enjoying it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Back to Coach Burris. Coach Burris, if a potential student athlete does not have any film, how do they go about getting recruited during a time like this?
Film's an interesting thing. Most of us all have smartphones, so I can even take a kid that stands out in their backyard and is talking with their parents or one of their friends, or even if you have a dog. I think in this day and age, we're getting so creative. So a lot of times one is if they can do something with a cell phone, or even an old school camera, that works, or a computer. But also, I can talk through kids. I can talk to kids about drills they do, talking to them about, what they think about this or think about that. And that gives you a good idea of if they understand the game, if they understand what's expected of them. So, I don't really need game footage. I also don't need a lot. It's also one of those things, it really, when you have a cell phone, you take a 5-minute, not even, a 5-second video of you throwing, you can figure out a lot. So, I mean, it's one of those things that not having film isn't a downside to me, because I think you can talk kids through the drills they do, because that lets you know if they understand the game.
Okay. Coach Hernandez, same question. How do you recommend a student who doesn't have any film go about getting recruited during the pandemic?
For me, if you could get there, for a lot of guys for soccer, as they're playing club soccer and high school soccer. So, and sometimes multiple teams. So if we can get contact information for current club coaches, high school coaches, we can reach out to their coaches and get feedback from them, because we do take a lot of value into their coaches that see them every day, or did at one point see them every day or a few times a week, and have played for them for years. So we can reach out to those coaches, get some feedback there. And a lot of times we will recruit. A lot of our recruiting starts with phone calls to the coaches and the club coaches, so that we can get an idea of who the students are. And it's not just about their athletic ability, it's about them as individuals and the people that they are. So there's a lot of value in their hometown coaches, their club coaches, that we can reach out to and get some feedback from.
Okay. All right, Coach Johnson, how do you recommend a student with no film get recruited during the pandemic?
I mean, I think communication is huge. Like, y'all, if you guys want to be recruited, be aggressive. If we reach out to you, respond to us. If you want us to notice you, the more you text us, the more you call us, the more we're going to notice you. So just being super active on your end and not just wait for, for all the colleges to come to you. And then just like Coach Burrs kind of talked about, if you have a stick and a ball and a wall, go do a short film of a wall ball segment where you're doing right, left, different things, and send it through a text message to me or my assistant, and we would be able to easily kind of see where you are. But I think the student athlete, I think you guys being aggressive during this time, and the more you can get out there, the better off for you. And you can still get recruited, so don't feel like you can't. Just be super aggressive and creative with it.
Okay. All right, Coach Burrs, last question I got for you, and I'm going to quit bothering you, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Why did you choose St. Andrews?
I'm actually from North Carolina, and after I got back from Europe, one, I needed a job, but the other part is that I love North Carolina. I'm a very big North Carolinian. Every time I talk about St. Andrews, I say that we are a smaller version of Carolina. So, for example, Carolina has an indoor facility. St. Andrews softball has a covered facility. So, I mean, all of our Carolina gives their student athletes free gear. St. Andrews, you guys get 2 T-shirts when you come in that are Under Armour, and the student athletes are the only ones that have them. Coaches don't get them. Staff doesn't get them. So, I mean, I chose St. Andrews because I like the small environment. I like the location. I know we're in the middle of nowhere, but I like it, and I think our kids like it. It's the community that makes it. The student athletes truly love it here. I think the staff loves it here. A lot of our staff are alumni. A lot of our staff, myself, Stephen, and Coach Johnson, we've all been here for forever. And we genuinely love it here. So, I mean, I chose it because I like the small environment, but I stayed because I really, really love what it provides for not just myself, but also for student athletes.
Okay. Coach Hernandez, why did you choose St. Andrews University?
Okay, yeah, I want to touch back on the last question real quick. Yeah, I mean, as far as also seeing kids play, as soon as we get the all clear, obviously, if we can host any ID camps or any summer camps, we will be having those. So, and we have the ability to have in our realm of NAI and soccer, we can still have people come on campus and try out. So that is, I'm hopeful for that, and hopeful COVID clears up soon. Fingers crossed, but when we do that, have that opportunity, we will bring everybody to campus that we're able to. But as far as St. Andrews, I guess I chose St. Andrews. St. Andrews chose me, and it's kind of lasted. It's a long-lasting relationship so far. My undergraduate was from a small liberal arts university. I love the setting. I love the size, the institution's mission, and its academics, and it's something that I believe in, and I've just grown obviously fond of St. Andrews. They've tried to get rid of me many times, haven't been successful. But I do enjoy St. Andrews. I love it here, and I love the student athletes that we produce and all the students that come out of St. Andrews, but obviously, especially the student athlete family. So it's a warm and welcoming place, and you have the opportunity to train at a high level. So I continue to enjoy it each and every year.
Okay. All right, Coach Johnson, you got the floor. Why did you choose St. Andrews?
I'm also a North Carolina girl, so born and bred here, and I think it's the people. It really is. It's our athletic department is awesome. We all get along. We all support each other. As you know, I also teach classes, so I know a lot of the faculty. But I just think it's the people that really, make this place great. The relationships that you build. I also went to a small school for my undergrad and played for 4 years. And, a lot of the people that I met at a small school is how I got jobs, through connections. I think at a small school, you get that. You're able to build a lot of connections for people to help you in the future. So I think St. Andrews definitely provides that. I mean, I talk to girls that played for me every year who are looking for different jobs, and I'm making phone calls for them, helping them trying to get those jobs. So it's the connection and the place, but it's definitely at St. Andrews, it's the people that really make it great.
Okay. Coaches, thank you guys so much for your time. Are there any closing remarks or anything that you didn't get out when we or going that you'd like to go?
Thanks for being on the call.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
thank you guys. And I want to say, for the student athletes, I mean, we are a very unique institution. We're a great place, and the kids really do love it. So it's just, your experience is top notch here, and our kids truly, truly do enjoy it.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Sarah, I am giving it right back to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Patrick, for going through those questions with not only the students, but the coaches as well. I noticed that in our chat room, a lot of you guys were asking some great questions, and it might not have been potentially your coaches that were on the chat today, or you might not have had a chance to get those specific questions answered. So CJ is going to go ahead and she's going to share her screen again and put up all of those coaches' information. Every single sports head coach is up on this chart. If you want to take out your phones and take a quick picture of this chart, you'll be able to get in contact with any of the coaches. We have Coach Fox for baseball, Coach Hernandez for men's basketball, Coach Harper for football, Coach Burris for track and field and cross country, Coach Cooper for swimming, Coach Bachmeyer for men's lacrosse, Coach Mandeville for women's volleyball, Coach Burris for softball, Coach Cott for women's soccer, Coach Hernandez for men's soccer, Coach Johnson for women's lacrosse, Coach Vaughn for esports, Coach Dial for cheer and dance, Coach Sparks for women's basketball, Coach Soto for wrestling, Coach Phil for golf, and then Coach Rawls for men's volleyball. If you have any questions, quickly, last 10 seconds, take a picture of this slide and be sure to reach out to your coach. Even if you are being recruited currently by them, you can go ahead and shoot them an email and just say, hey, just wanted to let you know I was on the call today. I know they would love to hear that. As well, I just wanted to take a quick moment and remind you, if you have not had the chance to fill out an application yet, our application is completely free to do. If you hold up your phone again with that camera out and hold it up to the URL code there and tap on your phone, you can actually pull up our application. If not, if one of the admissions counselors could go ahead and drop that in the chat box as a link, you can go ahead and apply today for free. Even if you're a junior, go ahead and fill out that application, and then once you're finished your junior year, go ahead and send in those transcripts, and we can look at even getting you admitted during the summer. If you have been applied and accepted already, definitely be sure to register for our Accepted Students Day next Saturday, April 25th. It's going to be a virtual event just like this, but if you've deposited, you'll also get to register for your classes. So that's a huge thing. If you have not deposited yet and you were on the session today and you know that St. Andrews is where you want to be, if you go to our website, which is sa.edu, and click on admissions and accepted students, you can go ahead and make that deposit today and save not only your spot as a St. Andrews Knight, but as well be able to register for classes next Saturday, which as an athlete, that's a huge advantage that you're gonna get. Overall, guys, I just wanna take a moment from the admissions department and thank you guys, as well as thank athletics, our coaches, our student athletes, Natalie, financial aid, and especially you guys as the students for taking some time out of your day to listen and learn more about St. Andrews and what it takes to be a Knight. If you have any questions for admissions, we're going to hang out in the chat room for a few minutes so you can stick around. But if not, once again, thank you so much for coming out. Have a great day. Bye, guys.